Ever wondered why some relationships feel like an endless game of chess? Welcome to the complex realm where love and mind games intertwine. Today we delve into the hidden battlefield of relationships, the world of emotional mind games. It's like walking on a tightrope, isn't it? Balancing your feelings while trying to decipher your partner's intentions. But why do we end up in this maze of mind games? The answer is as complex as the games themselves. It could be a defense mechanism, a power play, or perhaps an unconscious pattern born out of past experiences. Yet the impact, regardless of the reason, can be profound, shaping the dynamics of relationships in ways we may not fully realize. Let's take a closer look. Imagine a relationship as a dance, where both partners move in sync, responding to each other's rhythm. But what happens when one starts to change the steps, to control the dance? That's where the game begins. One person may make a move that leaves the other guessing, creating a sense of uncertainty. This often results in a power imbalance, with one person always trying to catch up, to understand, to predict the next move. However, it's essential to remember that these games are not always malicious or intentional. Sometimes they are the result of ingrained behaviors, learned from previous relationships or from watching the dynamics of relationships around us. We may not even realize we're playing them, yet the impact is undeniable. Emotional mind games can create confusion, frustration, and often a sense of instability. They can erode trust, breed resentment, and in extreme cases lead to emotional exhaustion. And while it may seem like the one playing the game holds all the power, remember, it's a dance. It takes two to tango, and it takes two to play a game. Understanding these games is the first step towards breaking free from their grip. It's about recognizing the patterns, the moves, and the effects they have on the dance of your relationship. Stay tuned as we unravel the secret world of emotional mind games. Meet John and Jane, a couple who often engage in a silent battle. Imagine a world where words are weapons and silence is the shield. In the realm of relationships, this silent war is all too common. John and Jane, like many other couples, often find themselves locked in this silent standoff, each waiting for the other to break the silence, to wave the white flag of surrender. This, my friends, is the silent treatment, a classic mind game that people play in their relationships. It's a form of emotional warfare where the weapon of choice is silence. Sounds simple, right? But the implications of this tactic are anything but. You see, the silent treatment isn't just about not talking. It's about withholding communication, affection, and attention. It's about creating an emotional vacuum, a space filled with tension and unspoken words. It's a power play, a way for one person to assert control over the other, to force them to come to terms with the uncomfortable silence. Psychologically speaking, the silent treatment can be incredibly damaging. It creates a sense of abandonment, a fear of rejection. It can lead to feelings of guilt, self-doubt, and anxiety. It's a form of passive-aggressive behavior that can erode the very foundation of a relationship, leaving it unstable and susceptible to further damage. But how does this silent treatment affect John and Jane's relationship? Well, every time they engage in this silent battle, they are essentially building a wall between them. With each passing moment of silence, this wall gets taller, thicker, more impenetrable. It creates a rift, a divide that only widens with time. The silent treatment is a dangerous game to play. It's a game where there are no winners, only losers. It's a game that chips away at the trust, the respect, the love that forms the core of a relationship. So the next time you find yourself tempted to give your partner the silent treatment, remember John and Jane. Remember the wall they built, the divide they created. Remember the damage that silence can do. Silence, as they say, isn't always golden. Next, let's delve into the story of Anna and Alex, a couple caught in the vicious cycle of blame. Picture this. Anna and Alex, both charming individuals, yet their relationship is plagued with constant bickering and finger-pointing. It's as if they're trapped in a never-ending game of emotional hot potato, always looking for someone else to hold the responsibility of their shared unhappiness. Now, you might wonder, how does this blame game start? Sometimes it can be as simple as one person holding the other accountable for a minor inconvenience. But over time, this pattern of blame escalates, gradually transforming into a full-blown emotional warfare. Each partner becomes more focused on proving their innocence than finding a solution to their issues. This game of blame is not just about who did what, it's a struggle for power, a bid to control the narrative of the relationship. It's about who gets to be the victim and who gets cast as the villain. But here's the kicker. The more they play this game, the more they both lose. The constant blame creates a toxic environment, eroding trust and intimacy. It's like a poison that seeps into the very foundation of their relationship, causing it to crumble from within. The emotional toll is immense, leading to feelings of resentment, hurt, and eventually, emotional exhaustion. Imagine being in a relationship where love is overshadowed by blame. It's like being stuck in a storm, where instead of seeking shelter together, you're hurling accusations at each other, oblivious to the fact that you're both getting soaked. So what's the result of this blame game? Well, it's quite simple. Nobody wins. In fact, they both lose. They lose the chance to grow together, to learn from their mistakes, and to build a stronger bond. Instead, they're stuck in a cycle of blame and resentment, unable to move forward. The blame game, it seems, has no winners. But what drives individuals to play these emotional mind games? Let's delve into the depths of the human psyche to find the answer. Our journey begins with power dynamics. You see, relationships are often a delicate balance of power, a dance between two individuals. However, when one person feels less powerful or insecure, they may resort to emotional mind games as a way to regain control. It's a bit like a chess match, where every move is calculated to tip the balance in their favor. But unlike chess, the game here is far from fair, and the rules are often blurred. Next, we come across the fear of vulnerability. Opening up to someone, showing your true self, can be terrifying. It's like standing at the edge of a cliff, unsure of what's below. Some individuals, instead of taking the leap of faith, choose to hide behind the walls of emotional games, using them as a shield against potential hurt or rejection. It's a defense mechanism, albeit a destructive one. Then there's the lack of effective communication. Picture a tangled ball of yarn, each thread representing a different feeling or thought. Without the right tools or skills, untangling this mess can seem impossible. So, instead of trying to communicate these tangled emotions, some individuals resort to emotional mind games, using them as a convoluted way to express their feelings or needs. It's an unfortunate substitute for clear and direct communication. Finally, we must not forget the role of past experiences. Often, individuals who engage in emotional mind games have been victims of such games themselves. It's a cycle, passed down from one toxic relationship to another, like a baton in a relay race of emotional manipulation. So, as we unravel the complexity of these emotional mind games, we find power dynamics, fear of vulnerability, lack of effective communication, and past experiences at the heart of it all. Remember, understanding these underlying psychological reasons is the first step towards breaking free from this invisible battlefield. Understanding the why can help us navigate the how. So, how can couples break free from these damaging emotional mind games, you might wonder? It's certainly a question worth pondering, and the answer is simpler than you might think. Firstly, open communication is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship. It's about being honest with each other, expressing your feelings, and not being afraid to discuss the difficult topics. When you're open and transparent, there's no room for manipulation or mind games. You're creating a safe space where both individuals can express themselves freely and without fear of judgment or retaliation. Secondly, understanding is crucial. It's about putting yourself in your partner's shoes, trying to see things from their perspective. This does not mean you have to agree with everything they say or do, but rather to empathize and show compassion. When you understand where your partner is coming from, it eliminates the need for any power plays or emotional tug-of-wars. Thirdly, empathy is key. It's about feeling what your partner is feeling, sharing their emotions, and showing them that you care. When you empathize with your partner, you're showing them that their feelings are valid and important, and that you're there to support them, no matter what. Empathy helps to build a strong emotional connection, and it's this connection that can help to shield your relationship from the damaging effects of emotional mind games. So, to break free from emotional mind games, couples need to focus on open communication, understanding, and empathy. It's not always easy, and it takes a lot of effort and commitment. But the rewards are worth it. You'll find that your relationship becomes stronger, healthier, and more fulfilling. You'll be able to connect on a deeper level, and you'll be able to navigate through any obstacles that come your way. And as we wrap up this discussion, let's not forget the most important point. Remember, relationships aren't about winning or losing, they're about understanding, growing, and loving together. So let's break free from emotional mind games and let's start building relationships that are built on trust, respect, and love. Because that's what truly matters.